Yay! Mm-hmm. I've been talking about how Dan Kuroto is getting his own goddamn human form figure art, and what?
You kind of missed what I was saying with that.
What?
I was kind of quiet because I was muted.
Oh. Oh, what did you say
I
about that?
I had to change my stuff in this OBS
Oh,
because I did in the other one.
well. Well.
But yeah, so things should be fixed ish now. Say ish
Yay.
because Switch
Mm-hmm.
apparently server went down. The only thing I can make of that because I changed what server I was sending to and it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But yeah, there's that. There's the fact that the mini plot line Style Fighter Scissors gets to be a shield for cross compatibility with the Udo stuff.
I feel like I just got confirmation about that.
What?
Well, Big John's supposed to be commentating a Link to the Past randomizer run.
Uh-huh.
It was supposed to be on one of the Speed Gaming's channels. They're having to move it because of having issues. Which be broke.
Yeah. Yay! But at least we're broadcasting, so we get to push on.
Yes.
Anything else got to play wise? Because honestly, I haven't got to play that much, unfortunately.
Outside of what's been streamed now.
Yeah, because this upcoming week and this next week are my last 2 weeks before I finally am out of school. Although whether or not I have an internship after that is up in the air. I've applied to two more places since one place went nope after a week of waiting on that one. So here it goes. I haven't gotten an email yet. Granted, it took like a week for the other place to get back to me, so it might take longer. I don't have my hopes up because one of them wants work experience, which I don't have, and the other prefers a higher GPA than I have. So I might be shit out of luck. Yay. At least that gives me more time to do anything else. Including having to go take this damn FE exam test so I don't have to take the class next semester, which I kind of can't take because it interferes with another class I have at the moment. So, yeah. I have to take that test and pass it over the summer. Well, I guess we can just get straight into articles off the bat.
I guess we can if I aren't actually take the browser out of full screen mode so it doesn't look stupid.
Well, you remember how we talked about on like the last couple weeks, probably on streams at some point, about how Call of Duty is getting rid of their single player and putting it in a battle royale mode?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's that. And bear in mind that previous one is a rumor. Now it's being said that Call of Duty, that for Black Ops 4, we're going to get an Overwatch style multiplayer. To quote the article, the rumor states that Black Ops 4 is focusing on different heroes with different abilities, a removal of perks, and an emphasis on kill streaks to unleash character-altering skills.
Well, to this, I'm gonna say it might be worth it to kind of see what they do if this is the path they go with. Because from what I understand, Advanced Warfare kind of sucked for everyone, but I kind of felt like it was trying to copy Halo. Meaning that I kind of felt like that was probably one of the better multiplayer Call of Duties we've had in a little while.
So we're gonna get rid of everything unique about Call of Duty, and
There's
instead,
nothing unique about Call of Duty. I mean,
well,
that's I don't even know what you would call that. There's not anything unique.
okay. So we're gonna go from copying Halo to now copying Overwatch. Then
Well, at this point, it's either going to be that or Fortnite. Or wait, no. You'd have to pay for Call of Duty, so it'd be that or PUBG.
I was about to say they're doing both.
Not necessarily. They're both rumors. That doesn't mean either one could be true or that both would coexist.
To be fair, the thing about the Battle Royale mode is it would replace single player. It was never about replacing multiplayer.
But they kind of couldn't do that because they'd have to replace both.
True enough. But I swear to God, if they fucking end up doing both, I'm done. I'm done. What the fuck? Instead of coming up with your
I'm
own.
just going to say this. The Battle Royale part might work. The Overwatch part, there's no way.
I was about to say, one of the main things that makes Overwatch work is the fact that it has characters. Granted, they don't get that much story to them, but it has uniquely defined characters on the battlefield that you can easily identify. When you see a Tracer, you know who Tracer is and what she's capable of because no one works like her. So, how are you going to make your characters differentiated from each other?
Exactly. That's why I'm like, there's no way. The Battle Royale part, maybe. Because you could argue that in Punk Bat or Fortnite, all the characters are the same. So it really wouldn't matter.
And it's good.
Overwatch, though, to do something like that, Overwatch is a MOBA, even though people really don't treat it as such. That's kind of a common theme with MOBAs, is having a cast of varied characters that all do different things. Call of Duty has a cast of the same characters that do the same thing. So that don't work.
Oh, someone that brought up that it'd be more like Rainbow Six Siege, but again,
It wouldn't.
Siege makes their characters look different.
And no, it really wouldn't be like Siege. Because the only way they could pull it off is if they did try to pattern it from Siege. But at the same time, we're talking about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They love their cookie cutter. Everyone looks the same. Everyone functions the same. Everyone does the same things. Kind of mentality. It's if they had any experience of breaking that mold beforehand, maybe. But yeah.
I couldn't believe because I was like, oh, I'm gonna pull up the Call of Duty one. This was immediately right there at the top of one of the feeds. I'm just like, wait, what? Excuse me, there's more? Because
Hey,
I could not believe that part.
hey, you know what'll be next? The next thing will be a rumor that Call of Duty Black Ops' zombie mode will actually have Minecraft zombies in it. I mean, we're stealing ideas from games. Might as well go for 3 for 3.
Nah, this is gonna rip off like all of Minecraft's building mechanics.
I mean, might as well at this point.
Oh my god.
Let's go 3 for 3.
Well, we got better news. And it's
Um,
Kingdom Hearts related.
okay, so then better news.
Yes.
Because I think
Pretty
even the worst from Kingdom Hearts could be better than the smelly fish.
You know, as someone who's played all the games recently, yes. I agree with this. And I don't like 3D. I don't like 3D and I can tolerate BBS. And I'm like, yes, it can. Which I say that and people will go, what do you think about Chain of Memories? And I go, Chain of Memories is probably one of the best portable games we've ever gotten. I am not kidding when I say that. I think it's one of the better portable games. Granted, its story is a bit dumb because Sora is an idiot. And the game only works because he's an idiot in that entire plot. But at least gameplay wise, it works. BBS has a dumb ability system that I don't like, and 3D takes it to a further extreme that I hate. And also 3D makes you go, oh, you know, Donald might not heal me when I need him, and Goofy may not do the damage he needs to sometimes, but oh my god, they're better than these fucking Pokemon ripoff bullshit things. But anyway, announced at the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross Dandelion meeting in Anaheim, California, essentially, we're gonna get little, essentially Game and Watch style mini games in Kingdom Hearts 3 that you can play. You can pop the trailer and take a look at the less than 1 minute trailer and see this in action. But yeah, they're literally in the style of ye olde Game and Watch, ye olde little LCD screen games. Which is kind of neat, and they look very authentic for LCD games, to be honest. And I super dig that the interface for all of this is like, it's not just the buttons and stuff, it's the whole fucking thing. This looks like the actual fucking thing you'd be holding to play this.
Which you know what this will spawn?
What?
Someone actually making something that you can play all these on.
Yeah, that would be cool. And also, just to kind of sneak in the little thing in there to satisfy people going into E3 this year, this trailer has confirmed, yes, we are going back to Twilight Town, which I think the first look we got at Kingdom Hearts 3 confirmed that. But also, hey, Hayner Pence and a letter back. You know, those three people who were super important in Kingdom Hearts 2. And they have new clothes. Yay.
Because reasons.
Yeah, Hayner Pence and Olette, so critical to the Kingdom Hearts storyline that they get to appear in 3, and hey, they introduced Sora to the mini games, I guess, and I guess they're connected to all that. Cool.
Well, we got to give them something to do.
As long as this is the only thing they're important to, I'm fine with.
Well, then you won't be fine, because you know as well as I do that won't be.
Well, shall we talk about pirates then instead?
I guess so.
All right. Rare has revealed their content plans for Sea of Thieves going forward. So first and foremost, they're going to be addressing feedback, fan feedback. So that is broadening content down the lines. They're going to be offering more goals and rewards for exploration, more emergent events taking place during PvP and PvE, and expanding the ways that players can become pirate legends and what can they do beyond that status. Weekly events are in the works that reuse mechanics and portions of the world in new ways. The first content update in May will involve the Hungering Deep, which will encourage players to band together against a mysterious new threat. Summer will see the release of the Cursed Sails and Forsaken Shores, which offer new enemy types that rock the proverbial boat, and more free updates are scheduled for the fall and winter. So, yay, content! Sea of Thieves could really use that as someone who has watched a lot of a streamer on their path to Pirate Legend for that.
Except for, I have to wonder. It's been a month since the game came out.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around a half a month since a lot of the criticism behind the game being just kind of repetitive after a certain part has came out. Why did they wait so long to announce, hey, this is coming down the line?
I don't know. But for those curious, I do have an average number of hours you need in order to get Pirate Legend. Care to take a guess?
50,
Higher.
60?
Higher.
Then tell me.
240 hours. That's an average. 240 hours to reach Pirate Legend, which makes me really go, yeah, you need to be Pirate Legend access and stuff. And I'm like, who the fuck's going to get Pirate Legend if it takes 240 hours to get there? And by God, is the run to 240, run to that 50 across the board, boring as fuck after a while.
Okay, I'm going to say this, though. That would be 10 nonstop days.
Yeah.
So even if you kind of broke that up and kind of really broke it down into not playing straight days like that, chances are within a month and a half, you'd be maxed out in it. Meaning the game doesn't really have that longevity that it should for something like this.
Well, there is apparently more past Pirate Legend. There is a ranking that you get that you do increase when you get to Pirate Legend by doing the Pirate Legend voyages, which are the exact same kind of voyages you've been going on the entire fucking time. So there is no variety in content as soon as you get to Pirate Legend. Like, there are rumors about what you get as you go up in the ranks, but there's still no confirmed information about what happens at that point. So, once more, there is a severe lack in content.
And this is a $60 game, isn't it?
Yes, $60. Unless you do the Game Pass.
Which is probably the best thing.
Oh, God, is it?
Because, as I said, that would mean month and a half of playing it. You'd pretty much get to that point in the game where you were kind of at the top. So let's be generous and say it'd take 2 months. That'd be $20.
Yep.
The game. Probably a little better price point.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
But yeah, for those that don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to lack of content of Sea of Thieves, here is your gameplay loop in Sea of Thieves. You go to an outpost. You pick up a voyage from one of three. I want to say vendors, but vendors that are connected to a reputation meter. Those lead to 3 different kind of quests: either a treasure map, essentially solve, find the buried treasure or solve the riddles as you go. Treasure gathering quest, a gather a certain number of animals quest, or a go kill a very special skeleton kind of enemy on an island kind of quest. Essentially a bounty mission. Those are your 3 kinds of missions. That's it. You do those, you come back, you turn in, and you repeat. The only variation in this is if you see a skull fort, that which, by the way, everyone on your server can see. And by the way, the servers aren't that big in terms of player bases. Apparently, they are super spread out.
hmm.
I mean, it's possible that they aren't that much, but it still feels fairly empty feeling in terms of your instance servers. Which also, by the way, there's like no NPC boats. So if you see a boat that is a player,
Well then,
and 9 times out of 10, if you're in a swoop, a galleon will beat you. That is not a question. That is a fact. 9 times out of 10, a swoop is losing to a galleon, which sucks because apparently a swoop, a 1 to 2 man crew on a swoop, is the fastest way to grind in the game. Because a swoop is faster than a galleon, I believe, and you can get it like around islands way faster in a swoop.
Hmm.
And apparently, it's also faster to grind and just not doing the straight voyages and just get those to get the things you need to go on voyages and just see what is the best things to get, like gold animals or specific like high tier skull heads and good treasure chests. Like that stuff is what you want out of your voyages. And if you can see off the bat that you're going to get X, Y, or Z, then you just throw those out. You just go do those, and anything else you just throw out. And if it comes to animals, you just stockpile cages after cages after cages from voyages that you're just abandoning. Because I guess you keep the cages after you abandon the voyage. And then you just go get a bunch of animals and bring them back.
well then.
So there are ways to minimize the grind, but the grind is hard. You can probably put in an 8-hour day on Sea of Thieves in the high 40s and maybe only just make a level over 8 hours in the high tiers. It is a hard, steep increase in experience you need in the later levels. Oh, God. Like, all of this just makes me go, nope, Sea of Thieves ain't for me, because I don't like grinding. I hate grind. Like, making me grind mindlessly is the worst possible thing you could tell me to do as a player of your game. Because I don't want to do that.
But the grind.
If you want me to grind, give me something to do with that grind. Don't just tell me go grind. Because I won't play your game if you do that. I will literally go play anything else at that point.
Let's see, you just go grind.
This is why I don't like Sea of Thieves. This is why I didn't like when I saw what was going on with No Man's Sky. Oh boy. I'm gonna hope and pray that this stuff fixes that issue with Sea of Thieves, because it does look beautiful and gorgeous, but gameplay-wise, it is severely lacking in content. Any other thoughts before we move on?
Nope.
All right, we have an interesting thing here. We could talk about a canceled DS game about building engines. Coming from Yu Saito in a talk about game design philosophy at Reboot developed 2018. He was talking about Mario Motors, which, let me grab some quotes. Quotes. Blech.
Quotes.
Quote. Essentially, it was a kind of like a sculpting kind of game from what I'm seeing. A game where you can create engines, shaping and sculpting out a chunk of metal to make a cylinder, which then describes the abilities of the engine. For part of the game, he wanted to teach players how acceleration works in an interesting way and thought about having them blow into the DS microphone. He scrapped the idea because children would run out of breath for that one.
That seems like a dumb way of, or a dumb reason to scrap an idea.
To be fair, if that was the case, I'm like, how much blowing are you telling these kids to do? Because if you're afraid of that, you might want to cut down on that.
Okay. To this, I'm gonna say this is the same company that thought the stick spinning mini games in Mario Party was a good idea.
Okay, yes, that is a fair point.
Hence why I'm like, that seems like a dumb idea of why it got scrapped.
Well, this kind of seems interesting. Kind of a more educational game that for Mario that, God, when was the last time we had a Mario educational game? NES era, I assume, because that's the only thing I can think of. Or not NES, SNES era. NES, I'm thinking of Sesame Street. By the way, yes, there were.
Right, by the way.
Yeah, it's those SNES education games that everyone knows about.
Well, I don't know, because, I mean, wasn't, I think it was Brain Age on the DS?
Right, but that's not Mario connected. That's its own franchise. And I don't think
True,
there's
but you said Sesame Street, so that's not Mario connected either.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of when I thought NES educational games. Like, no, that was Sesame Street I was thinking of from my childhood. But yeah, Brain Age is. I don't think it's not educational like this is. It's more brain teasers, and I don't know. It doesn't. I don't think I would classify it as an educational game. I would classify it as something kind of an offshoot of an educational game. Like a subgenre of an education. Well, what the hell would it be then? If I'm thinking if it's a subgenre of educational games, which is already a fucking subgenre in itself, I assume.
It technically is. Because, I mean, you could consider educational games as puzzle games. I mean, one of those. Yeah. Don't know.
Oh, by the way, looking at the comics, apparently someone has already took this idea and it's actually on early access on Steam. My summer car. Apparently, you're doing a bunch of odd jobs over the summer and fixing up your little Datsun. And there's a lot of time putting the 4-inch or 4-cylinder engine together. What's weird is this is starting to sound more and more up my damn alley, just as a dumb idea. Oh, a game where you essentially just make your own car from, like, build up your own car from, like, pulling it out of the scrapyard and fixing it up. Oh, that sounds perfect. But it sounds interesting, at least. All right. Well, you remember how we're getting Sonic Mania Plus? I think this summer, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, we might have gotten some more information about Sonic Mania on accident. Yeah, Sega might have accidentally pushed some things in an update that are Sonic Mania Plus related.
Oh my god.
Apparently, all stage transitions now include their own cutscenes as opposed to just some of them. One of the bosses have been revamped. Apparently, it's a spoiler. So, Eggman?
I don't think it would. But I'm trying to think of.
Oh, the Metal Sonic fight.
I could see that, yeah.
Oh dear. You remember what Metal Sonic became in Sonic Heroes?
Oh.
Yeah, he takes the fuck, what is it called? The gem from Sonic Mania? Yeah, you get to fight that. I guess at the end of that boss fight. Now,
So that's second phase of the boss fight now?
it looks like that's the end of the Metal Sonic boss fight. Eggman just throws the gem on him and is like, "You do your job better," and flies away. And then you meet him, and then some caterpillar thing comes around and just kicks the gem off screen. Or the Phantom Ruby, that's what it was, Phantom Ruby.
Then yeah, that comment I can completely agree with about it being revamped entirely.
Yep.
Because you don't even see Eggman in that entire part right there.
Yep. You can switch off in the options menu, or you can switch off the time limit. And you have new unlocked abilities, such as Insta Shield, can now be used in conjunction with your save games, which is Insta Shield, peel out, etc. on save files, and not just no save files now. I'm taking a look at some of the transitions that are up on Twitch. Yeah, these are actually new cutscenes. Like brand spanking new anime cutscenes. They are, granted, like not that long, but
Then that makes me wonder if they've put that much into it, are we getting everything? Or are we going to get everything but the two characters? Because if this patch is what was supposed to go live with the Plus release, I don't feel like that would have been something they would have held back, kind of deal. Like, this feels like too much changing to not give everyone everything, kind of deal.
Yep. And the transitions I'm looking at are Flying Battery Zone to Press Garden Zone, Oil Ocean to Lava Reef, and Metal Madness to Titanic Monarch. So essentially a whole bunch of Act 2s to Act 1s.
and essentially every Act 2 to Act 1 that I don't think had a cutscene beforehand.
And bear in mind, these are some of these clips. This isn't everything.
But I think that actually does give every level a intro cutscene.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, these are brand spanking new animations. And looks like time and effort went into these. So yeah, if this is a taste of what Sonic Mania Plus is giving us, I have more faith in those new characters, because if they're putting this much effort into just transitions that didn't exist before, what are they going to put into the characters?
So that's why I'm kind of wondering: are we getting everything, or are we just going to get what we basically know we're getting now?
Mm-hmm.
And if this is all they're going to give us, why not go ahead and make it live? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, something don't fit right there.
Yeah.
And I do want to mention this, since this is technically going to be a physical copy release for all three consoles, or all four consoles, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
The physical release, I know with Switch games especially, and I can't think that the other three systems would be different, but Switch games, the cartridges can even have different patches, because that's actually one of the things that I'm wanting to say Odyssey has ran into, where certain ones after like a set date have a newer patch than the
Mm-hmm.
original run. So I would have to think the disc could do the same, meaning that I don't necessarily feel like this patch was meant for the Sonic Mania Plus release. I think this was meant to bring the Sonic Mania up to what Plus is going to have.
Mm-hmm. And apparently not everyone got this update to start with, so this might have got pushed too early. Someone might have slipped and pressed the button at the wrong time.
It wouldn't surprise me, and I know it's different platforms, but you know the games with gold?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Apparently Microsoft at some point screwed up and uh shifted which free game with gold came out like a day early. And apparently had fixed it within a few hours too. So it's like, yeah. It happens. I'm just kind of surprised that it was only the PS4 ones. Like, that seems like that should have been something that more than just that should have had it. If that was a screw
well,
up on Sega's end.
well, they're all separate buttons, you know. And some of
Uh,
them buttons are a little bigger than others.
if this is an update patch, it would actually all be the same button,
Mm,
because
but that's too efficient.
they wouldn't release a update patch for one console, not the others.
True enough. But that's efficient. Come on, some companies just aren't that efficient.
We're not talking about Activision.
Well, speaking of leaks with Nintendo games, we might have got a release date for Octo expansion.
Wow.
Just pushed in that transition way too hard.
No, it's just wow. So we've got Sony screwing up. We got someone deciding they're gonna post on Facebook something early. Um,
Nah, this is from the official German Facebook page for Nintendo. This wasn't just somebody's random Facebook. No, this was the German Nintendo Facebook page. But yeah, we're looking at a July 13th release date for Octo Expansion, which is actually the same release date for Marina and Pearl.
So then, yeah, pretty much confirmed.
Yep.
Because, like, at that point, that's pretty much going to give it to us.
Yep. And, as shown in the picture, amiibo compatibility with the Octo expansion. But Splatoon 2 already has amiibo compatibility, so I don't think that's very surprising.
And you know what? I believe the date. For more than just the reason that it was their German Facebook page that posted it.
Mm-hmm.
That is a little over a week before the 1 year anniversary for Splatoon 2.
So that's just a perfect time.
Yeah. One of those, I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, is that? And I looked it up, and yeah, the 21st of July was when it came out. So, yeah.
Also believe
That's right timing for that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I also believe that through the official stuff, we've gotten confirmation that yes, there are male Octolinks. Those exist, and you can play as that as well as the female one. So yay! I don't think that's super surprising news.
No. No, not really.
But yeah, we're looking at 80 new missions from this campaign, which is the number that was said back at the direct. No other information, unfortunately, has come out. So, meh.
I just thought of something.
What?
I'm gonna have a bad idea, aren't I? And want to
What?
try to speed run all of it.
What? Both single players?
Yeah.
So, so that is you play as Agent 4, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's 12%.
That would be funny.
Well, it could either be 12%, 48%, 84%.
Or, you know, it could. No. I'm thinking of Splatoon 1.
What?
I was thinking it could be 105%, but no. Wrong amount of missions.
Mm-hmm. You could call it plot percent.
You know, I'm kind of wondering, because we know enough information, if they've even thought to. Nope, they haven't added any. I'm surprised. Honestly, we know at least how much it is, how much you're going to be doing, so I'm surprised there's not a category yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, it maybe depends on how you get through those 80 missions. Also, are you ready to see floating game cubes once more? Because one of the levels has a bunch of floating game cubes in it. As one of those people who absolutely love their GameCube, I appreciate that very much, very, 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 very much.
Yep, but your GameCube emulator doesn't work.
I don't think it's that. I just think it's Sunshine. Sunshine doesn't like me.
I don't know what you did to take Flood off.
Never use him in Smash apparently. Because I main Mario, but I never use Flood. I will use the cape more than I use Flood, and I barely use the cape.
Alright, I'm guessing you're in the camp bring Cappy to Smash or Switch.
If it will give him a better down smash than Flood, yes. Because if I
Easiest
want to,
thing is the cap throw where Cappy rolls on the ground.
yeah,
Honestly,
yeah,
that'd be the easy.
yep. Because if I wanted a better Mario, I would play Dr. Mario. And the big difference between those two is the down smash, where the down smash is the Twister, and I prefer the Twister over Flood.
Everyone prefers anything over Flood.
Very true. And that pretty much does it for this week in terms of articles. There was not a whole lot. But we are... Crap, what did Giant Bomb say? Like 50-ish days from E3? Because I was watching their Nintendo Labo construction stream. Oh boy, is it a fun thing to put together all that Nintendo Labo stuff. Guess where the instructions are for all that?
On the cardboard?
Nope.
Oh.
No. It's in the games. And it takes a while. I believe one person on Game Informer who did the variety kit, not the robot kit, spent 8 hours putting everything together for that one. That's everything in the variety kit. 8 hours of construction. But yeah, those instructions, they drag on because they really are kind of hand-holdy. So it takes a while to get through them. It kind of makes me go, I wish there was just a booklet that you could just skim through and just go, okay, I just need to fold this, 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 and this, and then slot it here, and then put your reflective stickers here, because that's how some of those things work. Like the piano, it works off reflective stickers that the Joy-Con can see. I'm trying to think. I didn't see anything else really. I believe the robot is just using the rumble, the HD rumble to move about.
Sounds about right. I kind of figured that.
But yeah, that might be the only downside of Nintendo Labo is, oh god, does it take forever to put all this shit together. And if you are 12, it is going to feel like an eternity before you can play something with all these fancy cardboard stuff.
Also,
and
this is a bit of a side note, but it's because I just glanced up at the release list. Is that actually a Wii U game I see there?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, there is in fact a Wii U game coming out in the next 2 weeks. I was surprised myself.
Some poor fool didn't want sales.
Apparently. Speaking of releases, let's go through them.
Sorry, that's just one of those that I happen to see Wii U and I'm like, wow. Huh.
So coming out on the 24th, we have Cluster Tumble for PlayStation 4, Code 51, Mech Arena, and Dead Secret for PlayStation 4, Devious Dungeon for PlayStation 4 and Vita. Emil wants to play too, or no, not Emil. Emily wants to play too for PlayStation 4. I can't read, folks. I'm sorry. Gale Gun 2 for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Jolt Family Robot Racer for PlayStation 4, Just in Time Incorporated for PlayStation 4, Pick a Pack Color for PlayStation 4 and Vita, Rick and Morty Simulator Virtual Reality Collector's Edition for PlayStation 4, The Swords of Ditto for PlayStation 4 and PC, which sounds terribly painful. Like, I know Ditto can turn into a lot of things, but I don't think turning him into a sword means he's a sword.
No, it's not saying that you're turning Ditto into a sword. You're playing as the swords of Ditto. I didn't know he carried them. He must be really good at hiding them.
So, the fucking knighthood of Dittos? Is that what we got here? Is a knighthood of Dittos?
Either that or a bunch of knights that are under the rule of one Ditto. What's bad is our ideas are probably far better than the game.
Oh, this doesn't look too bad. I like the art style on it. So it's a little top-down adventure game.
Ah.
It looks really nice. Really nice, crisp and clean.
You know, it's got a PC release. I'm gonna be disappointed at some point someone doesn't do mod where you just play as Ditto.
Well, it is a Devolver Digital game, apparently, so. Moving on, we have To Leave for PlayStation 4, Comic Star Heroine for Vita, Darkest Dungeon Ancestral Edition for Switch, Firefighters Airport Fire Department, and The Simulation for Switch, and Hello Kitty Cruisers for Switch, and South Park The Fractured But Whole for Switch, and all of its DLC is also on there as well. I didn't bother listing them because I believe the one that's coming out for Switch has all of the DLC on it, pre-bought. I think. I might be wrong on that one. On the 25th, we have Death Road to Canada for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Runestone Keeper for Xbox One, and Where Are My Friends for Switch. If this is a horror title, they're probably dead. Just gonna tell you right now, they're probably dead.
If it's not, that game was probably expensive because your friends will probably have to have a Switch also.
Yep. Let's see, this is a PC title, and it's a little adventure platformer from the looks of it, where you play as a little one-wheeled eyeball thing.
And let me guess, you gotta find your other eyeballs? I mean, your other friends?
I'm going to say yes. On the 26th, we have Dream Angling for PlayStation 4, MLB Home Run Derby VR for PlayStation 4, Survive Mr. Cube for PlayStation 4, Unalive for the goddamn Wii U, because the Wii U is still getting games even though it has stopped production. A Robot Named Fight for Switch, ACA Neo Geo Ghost Pilots for Switch, Agatha the Knife for Switch, Another Lost Phone Laura Story for Switch, Gotia for Switch, Korg Gadget for Nintendo Switch for the Switch, Late Shift and Lightfall for the Switch, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Trilogy for the Switch, Skyrouge, Skypiece, and Sparkle Zero for the Switch. On the 27th, we have Agatha Knife for Xbox One, Drago Dino for Xbox One, Psychedelica of the Black Butterfly for Vita, 12 Orbits for Switch, Aquamoto Racing Utopia for Switch, Bouncy Bob for Switch. I missed Drago Dino for the Switch up there with Xbox One. That's my bad.
Awesome.
Jotun Valhalla Edition for Switch, Save the Ninja Clan for Switch, and Snow Moto Racing Freedom for Switch. On the 28th, we have Super Sario Fly for the Switch. Excuse me. On the 1st of May, we've got Battlezone Gold Edition for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Minecraft Super Plus Pack for Xbox One. Super Mega Baseball 2 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Guns of Icarus Alliance for PlayStation 4, and Killing Floor Incursions for PlayStation 4. On the 3rd, we have Nihilbra for Switch. And on the 4th, we have City of Brass for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch.
For all of those that didn't pick it up on the Wii U.
And all of those who want easy mode with Funky. Because that's super easy mode. Which brings us to the quick draws, and mine's a very weird one. Because this is a thing that's only came out recently. Because, you know, Infinity War comes out next week. Like, it comes out the 27th. We are 6 days away from this movie coming out. Actually, 5 days. Nope, 6 days. My bad. 6 days from this movie coming out.
Having a hard time counting today?
Yep, super hard time. College student has hard time counting. Go figure. But this is coming from the Spider-Man Homecoming's out. Thank you, autoplay move video. Fuck off. Double autoplay video. Double fuck off. This is coming from Spider-Man Homecoming director John Watts in a interview with EW. He revealed that apparently Marvel Studios keeps a timeline of all of the MCU events. And by all of them, I mean all of them. You want to guess how they keep it?
Well, I mean, the title kind of gives...
Well, yes, I know. They keep it on a scroll. A conference room table length scroll. And apparently it starts with the Big Bang. And it goes forward from there. And it's essentially the MCU version of history. All of history. Apparently it's longer than the conference room table. And it's a fucking scroll. Like, okay, I've heard of story Bibles that are used to keep continuity in check for various franchises. I have never heard of a literal scroll to keep your timeline in check. Like, can you imagine what this looks like?
I can imagine that it's probably someone's life work.
Oh, I imagine it's several people's life work.
No, I'm sure there's probably one person that's in charge of the scroll.
Transcribing events upon it. Like, how much room is there, like, going forward?
You know what's
like
bad, though? That probably includes stuff that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, we know
that already has what's going forward, kind of deal.
I know, but how far does it go forward? Like, how far has Marvel planned in advance? Like, we know they've planned. I think they have 10 years of events planned, is what Kevin Feige said, and he's in charge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If anyone's wondering, he's the head person in charge of the MCU, and he's gone on record saying that past Infinity War, they have 10 years worth of movies planned.
So that's at least the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, how far does it go? Are we like, do we go from the start of the world to the end of the start of the universe to the end of the universe? Like, is there an end? Is the end unwritten? Like,
and
what else?
I do want to mention too. Just because we know about 10 years worth doesn't mean they haven't worked on it since.
I know.
That might have been the point they were at when he said it. At this point, they might be 20 years out.
Yeah, and I'm like, I also have to wonder, does any of that future stuff, is it erasable? Can that be erased and changed? Like, how permanent is the things written upon this scroll?
They're as permanent as the scroll they're written on.
Oh, God. Like, this is weird, but it's the kind of weird that is also kind of awesome. Like,
and
this would...
To be fair, it's the kind of weird that has kept Disney from touching Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know they have to be like, we don't even plan a year in advance.
You guys plan 10 years advance, and you etch that sumbitch in a scroll?
Yep, do whatever.
Like, the next thing you're going to tell us is that you're going to up your game by literally etching this shit in stone. That is how confident you are that shit will not be changed, is that you will etch it in stone.
I wouldn't say that too loud. The next article that you might bring up be that they've got a wall underground that they have etched this on.
The story of the MCU. Oh god. Well, there's a little bonus article down below if you scroll that essentially says, hey, that was it? I believe it's the climax of Infinity War is about 25 pages long, and I believe that's 25 pages worth of script. Yeah, Infinity War's final battle is 25 pages long.
Hmm.
And I believe that's essentially script.
Hmm.
And to put this in perspective, the longest fight in the MCU so far is Captain America Civil War, which clocks in at about 11 minutes, which I believe is probably less script than 25 pages. And yes, folks, the airport fight in Civil War was 11 minutes long. I don't remember it being 11 minutes long. Granted, that's what happens when you make a good movie. Time just poofs. But yeah, that's all I got. And you don't have a quick draw this week? I assume. Because I did not see one in the list. Hello?
I hit my mute. Pause it.
Of course. Well.
But yeah.
I am digging through Tokenation forums, seeing how people are talking about Evil coming in next week, and the Dan Kuroto figure arts in the episodes themselves, but no conversation on the episodes themselves. Fortunately, Parade Poppy's out right now, but I can't watch it because no one put up a DDL link for it yet. Literally no one, and it has been up since like 10 o'clock this morning. I don't know if that tells me the quality of Parade Poppy or the fact that just no one's bothered doing it yet.
Possibly both.
That scares me because this is like Poppy headlining one of the movies and Oh, by the way, you can now watch Kamen Rider Amazons legally because it's now on the English Amazon Prime. But guess what decided to piss me off about that? The Amazon listing for it says that it's the 4th Kamen Rider production. No, it's not. No. That would be Kamen Rider Amazon. And I don't think that's even technically right because that would be the 3rd production technically. Actually, no, it is. No, it is because yeah, Amazon is the 4th production. I was forgetting that X was in between there, in between V3 and Amazon's. But No, it's not. It's Amazon that is the fourth production. Amazon's is like the 30-something production of Kamen Rider, if we're counting a TV series and not counting any one-off movies, which increases that count by like +2. I think if you count the what were they called? Essentially, we got 2 movies that retold Ichigo, Nigo, and V3's origin, essentially. Oh, Kamen Rider the first and the next. They're bad. The next is super bad, though. How would you like your fight scene to be interrupted by J-horror nonsense? Literally interrupted.
Well then.
Because The Ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, just imagine you're watching a Rider fight sequence, and then all of a sudden in the middle of that, you transition to a scene from that movie. And then you transition back. And then you go back again. And back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. It's a really dumb and nonsensical. Spike on his last day of DK64, I assume.
Yep.
But yeah, Volt's showing up back next week, and I don't want to like completely confirm this. Oh wait, nope, it is true. Sento is the one who makes the Volt driver. But essentially, the next week's episode is going to break down as, hey, Sento, make this belt, or the Prime Minister dies. Your choice. And apparently the belt has research data from Suichi's father? Not Suichi. Katsuragi's father. I was trying to get the names right there.
Huh.
Wait, who is apparently the guy that was speaking at the day the wall went up?
Yeah. Yeah, this last episode kind of gave us that one.
Mm-hmm. Which is a question that's not really touched upon this week, as we mostly focus on the fact that, Bajo's kind of not human anymore. Or was, ever, I guess. He's part Martian, I guess?
Yeah. Or, I guess technically all Martian?
I don't know.
They don't really get into the specifics of it. And that's what's kind of odd.
Yeah. Because they don't say if he's, because, okay, looking at the circumstances, I have to think he's part Martian because he still had a natural human birth that was accelerated, I think. I assume it's accelerated, because if not, oh boy, are we stepping into some territory. Because, yeah, I know how those stories are received. That's some bad implications. I'm assuming she had an accelerated birth. So he's human, but he's part Martian, which I believe is why he can use Pandora's box like he did. Because Soichi is human, but has evolved in him, so he's part human as well. Right?
I guess. But I mean, they would technically be two different things.
True.
Because literally, Banjo came completely because of that. It wasn't a case of he was already existed. So it's
Mhm.
like, technically they're different. So you kind of can't compare the two and say that works.
Yeah, but like I have to think from the phrasing that was used, he's part human, part Martian.
It's
Is it?
one of those that they're not really being clear enough. So I think it's more
Mhm.
left to interpretation.
Mhm.
I don't feel like that's the case.
Mhm. Yeah, all I know is if that goo it did impregnate his mom, that is a lot more squeaky than I would like to see. Like that's some super territory. But if it's an accelerated birth, that's less terrible. That's still kind of bad, but that's less. Yeah. And people are like, "Oh, this show's not dark." You want to look at the implications of this shit?
Well, and you want to know something else too? The other implication that they kind of introduced there was that essentially to kind of having two different hosts for Banjo's mom.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, um, hmm. That's kind of tricky situation there.
Mm-hmm. And also, I kind of have to wonder if do you think that Goo? I don't think that Goo was a Volt. I assume because I assume he's been with Suichi the entire time. In the entire time.
Uh, do you want to take a look back at that?
Like
Keep
I
in
know it.
mind the fact that Banjo's age actually did play a part in that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very possible that Volt could be, I guess you could say, dad.
What is it with asshole father?
I
Like,
mean,
like Suichi was already an asshole father to one kid. Why has he got to be an asshole father to two?
well, maybe. Because bear in mind, she doesn't remember anything before all this has happened either. So we really don't have a good judge on if he was a good dad or not.
Oh,
Because
good.
all we've seen is him being manipulated by a vault.
Oh, good lord! This is Bono all over again. Evolt is literally Bono at this point.
It's like there's so much going on here that it's like, yeah,
Because
it's hard to pick what's true and what's not out of this.
which I believe has been an overall theme of builds since day one.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I again go, if you think like fucking Stark has ruined as a villain, bear in mind the person you have thought Stark was to start with is turning out to not be Stark. The asshole that we have all fallen in love with is not Suichi. No, no, it's the alien asshole who I guess just wants to blow up planets because fuck you. Because he wants to do
Which
the Earth.
which I have to wonder, is that his actual intention or is that just a unhappy byproduct of him wanting this massive power?
Considering how he acts, and how we know the people exposed to Pandora boxes acts, I have to wonder if he wasn't exposed like they were to it, and that's what drove him like this.
Because he is kind of exhibiting everything we've seen has happened.
Uh-huh.
Because case in everyone wanting the power of Pandora's box.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes you wonder if he's not actually just in it to get the power, and the destroying of everything around him is just a byproduct of it. That he's, because it's happened once, he's like, okay, this is probably gonna happen. I don't care. I want the power.
I'll live. I don't care if anything else does, but I'll live.
I feel like it's one of those. The first time it kind of hurt because it was more than likely his home that it happened to. Whereas this time it's like, this is a planet I came to. I really don't care if it survives or not. I want the
And I
power.
and I super have to wonder how much Suichi he's either been an unwilling participant of this, or he's been willing participant in this.
It could be either one. And the reason I say it could be either one, the fact of he found the box and brought it back, so he was already exposed to it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, kind of curious on that too, because we have seen the whole him and Evolt talk back and forth. So it's one of those, we know they at least coexist.
Right. It
Is
seems
he
like
just taking a back seat to let Evolt do this, or is he kind of wanting it too?
Mm-hmm. Because it seems like Evolt only procs up with Stark's voice. So does that mean every scene that we've heard that voice, that's Evolt? And every scene that Suichi is normally talking, that's Suichi? Or can he imitate his voice? Meaning, who knows what scene was actually Evolt or actually Suichi? Like, okay, this doesn't change anything. It doesn't like make it bad. It just makes you go, oh fuck, who has Sento been dealing with this entire time?
I feel like we've seen both.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some reason, I feel like every time that he's helped Sento, it's been.
Mm-hmm.
Every time that he's tried to stop Sento, though, I feel like that had to fall. And I almost wonder if maybe that's why we wound up with Rabbit Tank Sparkling, is because of the fact that Suichi foresaw some of what was going to happen. Because bear in mind, that form caught Shock off guard.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to think that was Evolt being in control at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that while he knew Suichi let have the box, he didn't realize that hard enough to tap into the box's power.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those that I'm like, I feel like every time that they've gotten a break, it's been Suichi.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of comes back to the whole, is he letting him do this, or can Evolt only take control for so long before Suichi has to have control for a little bit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, I would say that this whole little revelation about the two of them hasn't ruined Stark for me. It just has made me go, okay, we have far more questions now than we had before about Stark. Because now you have a whole new spin on your motivations, and now it's a very big question of how much has Suichi like played a role in events, Or has he just been yet another puppet that has been pulled?
That's one of those that I really kind of wonder, because it could go either direction. Because, like I said, he found the box first. We know what happens when you get exposed to the box, so it could be possible that he might be wanting this too. But at the same time, it also makes you wonder how long Evolt's actually been part of Suichi. Because if it was before they got their hands on the box, maybe he's not affected by it. It's just a case of he can't beat Evolt out of his body, so they have to coexist. One of those, I hope they'll answer that, but I don't know if they will or not.
I'm checking through forum threads at the moment to see what people are saying. We did see in this week's episode that Stark already has the Cobra Evolve model. So I'm not sure where the other models are going to come from. Somebody guessing that the Evolve driver was the driver on, but apparently that might not be the case.
Huh.
And someone calls the Evolve design busy, which not really. I don't think it's that busy. Granted, I'd look at this and go, yeah, what you get your own form too. Which is still insane in my opinion that this thing is getting multiple forms. Of course, with no grease form and no rouge form, it makes me wonder if they're ever going to attempt that.
Question.
Or if he just goes, you two aren't strong enough to even bother copying. Fuck the both of you. Of course, if Sento is building this driver, how are we going to get the genius?
Yeah, that is a good.
Because I believe Genius would be next month, if I am thinking right. It'd be next month.
Could be.
Yeah, but I would think with Evolve showing up and essentially curve stomping everybody, we're probably going to be speeding along to Genius, which means Rabbit, and Tank are going to be featured for that much longer.
Now, you know how that'll turn out. They'll get their use.
Yeah, they'll get their use, but it hasn't been that long since we got Rabbit, and Tank, and we're going to be getting.
Okay, but to this I'm gonna say we've not really had any forms that lasted for a while. Because literally, what, like 1 or 2 episodes after Sparkling, it was already out damaged.
Yeah.
the hazard form could easily be out damaged with the jellies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
The cross charge was literally a handful of episodes,
yeah.
which I think everyone's like, "Hey, regular cross is back! Thank God." Which I did find out that the magma full model still has the same exact key as dragon, and so does the dragon jelly. Actually,
Huh.
they're all counted as dragon. So if the magma full model is inserted into the Slash driver, it does read it as the dragon jelly still, which actually makes sense considering it was literally made from that.
Yeah, that one makes sense, but the fact that they're all considered the dragon one, that's kind of odd.
Yeah. Granted, that's all toy stuff. It might just be that they're all sharing the same simplicity, since there's no key dedicated to any of the other dragon forms. And this is someone who has watched the video that details all 162 keys for the full bottles. Which, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, on the back of all of the full bottles, there is a plate with a series of bumps in it. That series of bumps hits a series of 3 switches when it's inserted into any device across the build driver, the Splash driver, the full bottle buster. I'm trying to think of what else reads it. I think that's it. I think that's everything that reads a full bottle via its keys or via this key. And yeah, there's no separate key for any of the cross forms.
I mean, I guess in that sense, that also kind of makes sense because both forms that come out of the build driver have different attachments that determine that.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes, I guess that would make sense to make it the easiest to just be universal.
Mm-hmm. Also, considering it's count as dragon, you can use that in Dragon Key. It totally works. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else.
Man, that means we'll never have a magma key.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember anything else from the 162 key video. F1, it isn't registered in the full bottle buster. Yeah, we have was it Dinosaur F1 as a best match form?
Yeah.
It doesn't register the F1 key as F1. It just registers it as a full bottle.
Huh.
Which is odd because it does register the dinosaur full bottle. And the two of them are right next to each other in sequence. Because the keys are fairly much in their numerical order. Because what was it? Do you remember way back when we had a list of all the best matches?
Yeah.
The order you read them is the order they're in the build driver. Or at the very least, they're the order that I saw for the full bottle buster. So I think it's Rabbit, Tank, Gorilla, Diamond, Hawk, Gatling, etc., etc. That is their key number order. Let's see. There is the final match. That is key 162. Which, from how the sound effect is most likely going to be a repaint of the full bottle, which might be Rabbit Dragon, possibly. That is everyone's assumption right now, but we're not sure on that. But we know the combination of the full bottle buster or the full bottle and whatever this final bottle, this final bottle is. It creates the last match break attack in the full bottle or the full bottle buster. So again, there seems to be some compatibility here that might be movie related, for all we know. For whatever reason, the Double and O's Legend Rider full models aren't registered as Legend Riders, but from Forza onward, they are. Let's see. None of the extra, essentially the monster full models, like the Three Crows ones, like none of those ones besides Bat and Cobra are registered in the full model buster. They're just registered, I believe, as full models or blank.
Huh.
I don't think there was anything else surprising that we didn't already know about. Yeah, it was just that final attack and the combination with the full model is odd and strange. Excuse me. And then, of course, there's the recent rumor about Grease getting another form with a crow robots splash jelly. The full bottle that is Rabbit Dragon. And what else did I tell you that we got in that rumor set that may or may not be legitimate? Oh yeah, the DX Evolve bottle set, which apparently hints at the fact we're getting riders in the summer. That may be the rabbit and dragon forms we saw in the toy catalogs from a while back. If this is what we're hinting at with this rumor, but once more, take this rumor with a grain of salt, because yeah. So, sometimes rider rumors really do not turn out to be true. Anyway, you got anything else?
I don't think I do.
All right. Then in 2 weeks, we'll be back with more gaming news talk. And we'll be like a month away from E3 at that point.
Yep.
Which means all sorts of fun E3 rumors. Yay! But we'll see y'all then, folks.